Okay, in this video, I'm going to use a dry erase problem card that I made to show how quickly you can use the strikeout method to find what numbers are divisible by 3 and to find what digit you would need to append to a number to make it divisible by 3 if it's not divisible by 3. And I'll show in another video how to make this dry erase problem card. It fits in the philosophy I have about teaching math. I think that one thing that they used to do, that they still do, that I think is a wrong way to teach math in my opinion, getting on my soapbox, is giving kids a whole lot of problems to cover a subject matter, 20, 40, 50 problems or more. And I think it's better to give them enough problems to fully cover the concept, and maybe a few to practice, and then they can take a break and then come back the next day or even later that day. Well, I think it's probably best to come back the next day and review those same 5 or 6 problems, going over that same concept as well as the new concept that they're learning. That way, kids are always refreshing the old concepts while they're learning the new concepts. So one of my pet peeves is the amount of homework kids get. And the other is I don't like the new method of you can use a calculator for everything. I see people using calculators for Algebra 1. I think it's terrible in my opinion, because the problem with the calculator is that you don't learn the mental shortcuts that can help you do math faster. Plus, you're always going to run into, you might, I know now they let you use a calculator in the ACT, and everybody looks at that as your gold standard, but you're going to run into at some point, that college chemistry professor that doesn't let you use a calculator for anything. I had one. We could use calculators for physics and for calculus, but we couldn't use them for chemistry. And there's a whole lot of places where there's some pretty intense arithmetic for, well, it's been a long time since I've done chemistry, but I know coming up with converting from moles to whatever, you have to use some arithmetic for that. So, anyway, off my soapbox, this is, again, a method that I came up with. Somebody else probably came up with it because it seems very straightforward, for quickly finding if a number is divisible by 3 without having to do the full digit sum. So, and there's a link to this to my blog that explains this in detail, but the basic idea is you take a number and you strike out any number that is a multiple of 3, or any group of numbers that's a multiple of 3. For example, let's take this first number. This is 155976. So we know that 6 is a multiple of 3, 9 is a multiple of 3, and then we have 1 and 5 together are 15. Well, we know 15 is a multiple of 3, or you could just say 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 is a multiple of 3. So we will scratch out the 15. That leaves 5 and 7. So if we take the digit sum of 5 and 7, 5 plus 7 is 12. So this number, this number is divisible by 3. Okay, we can scratch out the 5 and 7. So the whole thing is divisible by 3. Let's look at the next number, 7, 3, 6, 5, 2. We can scratch out the 3. We can scratch out the 6. 7 plus 5 is again 12, so we can scratch out 75, and of course 75 divided by 3 is 25, so we know that's correct. We have a 2 left, so 2 is not divisible by 3. What could you add to 2 to make it a multiple of 3? Well, you add a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, so now this number will be divisible by 3. Let's look at the next one. We have 2, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5. Now, I made this number, I put 3 5s in this number for just to show you something. If we have 3 of the same digit, that's also going to be a multiple of 3. When we think about it, multiplication is just repeated addition. So if we have 3 5s, it's the same thing as 3 times 5, which is 15. Yes, 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So we can scratch out these 3 5s. We can scratch out this 3, scratch out this 6. We have a 2, so once again, we add a 1 to this. That will give you a number that is divisible by 3. Come over, we have 2584. Okay, let's see. 8 plus 4 is 12, so we can scratch that out. We have 25. 25 is not divisible by 3. If you add 2 to 25, you'll get 27. So that makes a number that is divisible by 3. Let's see, here we have 4, 5, 3, 7, 6. We know the 3 and the 6 are multiples of 3. We can get rid of them immediately. 4 plus 5 is 9. Scratch that out. We're left with a 7. To get to a multiple of 3, the next multiple of 3 after 7 is 9. We add 2 to 7 to get 9. So that's the digit you have to append to that number to get a multiple of 3. Okay, we've got 2, 2, 3, 9, 2, 6. Once again, we have 3 2's. 3 times 2 is 6, so we can scratch out these 2's. 3 is a multiple of 3, obviously. 9 is a multiple of 3, and 6 is a multiple of 3. So that number is a multiple of 3 without having to do anything to it. So, don't take my word for it. You got the video, pause it, check out each number with your calculator, and see if it's divisible by 3, and see if I'm right. I'm not even going to test it. I'm certain I'm right. If I'm wrong, then post it in the comments and tell me which one I got wrong. But I'm pretty sure I've got all this right.